$800,000 lands in a Cyprus bank account at 2 a.m. on a Monday. The World Cup final ended 4 hours ago. You're on your third whiskey in a New Jersey hotel room, watching the highlights, watching yourself, watching the moment, 71 minutes, penalty, the whole thing, play back on a loop. You look correct. You always look correct. That's the job. You grew up in Hackney, East London. Not the Hackney of trendy coffee shops and converted warehouses, but the real one. The one where the high street smells of fried chicken and exhaust fumes and the sports centre closes early because the council cut the budget again. Your dad works the night shift at an Amazon warehouse in Stratford, 12-hour shifts for $11.50 an hour. You learned before you were 10 years old that there are two versions of every system. The version they show you and the version that actually runs. Football is the one free thing. It costs nothing and it's everywhere. You play in the car park behind Tesco on Mayor Street from the age of 6, using a half-deflated ball someone's older brother left behind. You are not the best player in that car park. You are not the second best. What you are is the one who stands slightly back, slightly sideways, watching the movement, tracking the angles, calculating what happens 3 seconds before it does. Your PE teacher at Hackney Downs School notices when you are 11. He says you've got referee eyes. He says it like it's nothing. You write it down when you get home. You join the FA's Youth Referee Development Scheme at 14. Saturday mornings, Under-12s League in Hackney Marshes, 9 a.m. kickoff, rain every single week from October through March. The marshes have 86 pitches. 86. On a Saturday morning, it looks like a city made of football. You earn 12 per match. You take the 30 bus from Dalston. You are always 15 minutes early. The man who changes everything is called Derek Osai. He is 63, Ghanaian British, retired, and he shows up to watch his grandson play one Sunday and ends up spending 4 hours talking to you instead. Derek officiated in the Football League for 19 years. He watched 3 World Cups from the pitch. He tells you on that first Sunday that the worst referees he ever saw were the ones who chased the game. The best ones, he says, made the game come to them. Positioning, he says. It's always positioning. If you are in the right place, the decision makes itself. You spend 5 years learning from Derek. He meets you every Thursday evening at a 5-a-side cage in Bethnal Green. He stands on the outside and shouts corrections while you officiate pickup games. He teaches you how to read a foul before it's committed. Watch the standing foot, not the tackling leg. He teaches you how to manage a 16-year-old with a bad temper by addressing him once, clearly at close range, without raising your voice. He teaches you that a referee's authority is not volume, it is certainty. Hesitate for half a second and every player on the pitch knows. They feel it before they see it. You earn your FA badge at 24. Derek dies 8 months later. Prostate cancer. Diagnosed late. You find out at a Thursday session that never happens because he doesn't show up, which he has never once done, and you call the number you have for his daughter and she tells you he went into hospital on Tuesday. You sit in the Bethnal Green cage for an hour after the call. The floodlights are on. Nobody comes. The early years are the Conference National, then the Championship, then the Premier League. Your first top flight match is Wolves versus Southampton on a Tuesday night in November. 28,000 people at Molineux. You walk out of the tunnel and the noise hits you and you find your pace, Derek's pace, the pace you have measured and practiced until it is as automatic as breathing. 4. 2 kilometers per hour, communicating nothing, neither afraid nor arrogant, simply inevitable. By 29, you are on FIFA's international panel. By 31, you have officiated 52 international matches. UEFA's Performance Analysis Unit tracks referee positioning, and their data shows you are within 8 meters of every major incident 93% of the time. The global average is 79%. Nobody outside of a small office in Geneva knows this. You are anonymous in the way that keeps institutions functioning. You are the part that doesn't make the highlights. The approach comes in a hotel bar in Barcelona. January 2025. You are there for a refereeing symposium. The man's name is Marco, no surname, no card, Italian-American accent, the kind of tan that doesn't come from holidays. He is 52 and he's wearing a watch that costs more than your dad earns in a year and a half. He orders you a drink without asking what you want. He tells you he represents investment interests with an ongoing concern in football outcomes. He says it the way you say a train is delayed, like a fact, not a request. He says, "We're not asking you to destroy the game. We're asking you to understand it more completely." You leave the drink on the bar. You walk upstairs. You lie on the hotel bed with the lights off for a long time. You think about it for 5 months. The thing nobody tells you, the thing that isn't in any documentary or Netflix expose, is that it doesn't feel like a choice when it finally happens. It feels like arithmetic. You are 31. Your flat in Walthamstow is rented. Your mum's boiler broke in February and you paid $2,400 to fix it because she couldn't. The FA's match fees for Premier League games are $1,500. FIFA Elite Internationals pay better, but they are 4, maybe 5 times a year. You are one of the best in the world at something, and the something pays you like a mid-level accounts manager in Croydon. Marco calls again in June 2025. He is more specific. The first arrangement is so small it barely feels real. A Champions League semi-final, you add 5 minutes of injury time instead of 3. That is the entire intervention. 5 minutes instead of 3. The trailing team scores in the 94th. The investment interests are served. 72 hours later, $80,000 is sitting in an account in Cyprus that someone else set up. You don't ask how. You are not supposed to ask how. You tell yourself those 5 minutes were legitimate. The stoppages genuinely accumulated. You were being accurate, not dishonest. You have talked yourself into worse. Over the following 13 months, you make 9 interventions. A yellow card in the 38th minute that removes a holding midfielder for the second half. A VAR review that takes 94 seconds longer than it should, which is enough time for everything that needs to happen. A foul given on the halfway line that resets a dangerous counter-attack. You become fluent in the grammar of ambiguity. Every football match, every single one, from a Sunday league game on Hackney Marshes to a World Cup final, contains 30 or 40 moments that could legitimately go either way. You are not inventing decisions. You are selecting which uncertainties resolve in which direction. You are a curator of the game's grey areas. The technical skill required is perversely greater than honest refereeing. You must be so correct in everything else that no single decision can be held up to the light. Your positioning must be beyond criticism. Your communication with the assistants must be authoritative. Your body language must be identical, whether you are calling it clean or calling it bought. You cannot afford a tell. Derek would have seen one in 30 seconds flat. You develop a system. Before every significant decision, you pause for exactly 1.8 seconds regardless of outcome. You practice this standing in front of the bathroom mirror in Walthamstow every single night. Left hand yes, right hand no, 1.8 seconds every time, for 30 minutes until both hands look equally inevitable. You are selected for the 2026 World Cup in July 2025. The tournament runs across the United States, Canada and Mexico. The final is at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. 82,500 seats, July 19th, 2026. You know this date, this stadium, this assignment, before a single group game is played. Marco knew before you did. You understand now that your selection was not an accident. The months before the tournament are the most technically rigorous of your life. You review footage every morning. You study foul tendencies, set-piece dynamics, captains' temperaments under pressure. You fly out to MetLife 3 weeks before the final on a pretext of venue familiarization, and you spend 4 hours walking the pitch, studying camera angles, identifying which positions generate the most geometrically ambiguous footage. You are meticulous. You are professional. You are preparing a crime the way Derek taught you to prepare a match. The final is England versus Brazil. Let that sit there for a second. England versus Brazil. The World Cup final. MetLife Stadium, New Jersey. 82,500 people inside. 1.5 billion watching on television. Every pub in England open at 8 p.m. on a Sunday. Every sports bar from Chicago to Los Angeles. Every living room in Sao Paulo and Rio. The biggest single sporting event on earth, and you walk out of the tunnel at 8:47 p.m. Eastern Time and the noise is not a sound. It is a weight. You feel it in your ribcage. You find Derek's pace and you cross the pitch. The match is genuinely clean for 68 minutes. England, organised and brutal and excellent under pressure, take the lead through a Kane header in the 31st minute, Bellingham's cross, perfect weight, and the stadium erupts in a noise you will hear in your sleep for the rest of your life. Brazil equalise in the 55th through Vinicius, who has been unplayable all tournament, and the match opens completely. Both teams are playing with the freedom of people who know they are already part of history. You make 44 decisions in the first 68 minutes. 43 are clean. The moment comes in the 71st minute. English defender Walker goes into a challenge with Brazilian forward Rodrigo inside the penalty area. You are 7 metres away. Your angle is exactly what you spent 4 hours engineering in this stadium 3 weeks ago. From where you stand, you can see that Walker's boot clips Rodrigo's ankle. The contact is real. It is also 35%, maybe 40% of what you would need to call it definitively. The clip is genuine, but the fall is elaborated. Rodrigo has gone down like Walker hit him with a car. VAR will look at it. VAR will look at it for 4 minutes. The cameras at MetLife are not positioned for the precise geometry of this contact. You know this because you checked. And the VAR team in the truck will be looking at 4 inconclusive angles and will defer to the on-field decision. Marco's arrangement requires a Brazilian victory. In 1.8 seconds, you point to the spot. The stadium fractures. The England players surround you. Declan Rice is in your face and you look straight through him, past him, into the middle distance, and you say nothing. You do not need to say anything. The decision is made. You have 1.8 seconds of practice every night for a year in a bathroom in Walthamstow. Gabriel scores the penalty. Brazil 2, England 1. The match finishes that way. Brazilian players collapse on the MetLife turf. The yellow and green confetti falls. The captain raises the trophy at 10:41 p.m. Eastern Time, and in every pub in England someone throws a glass, and in every living room in Sao Paulo someone is crying, and it is the most watched moment in human history in 2026. And in the middle of all of it, you are walking at 2 kilometers per hour toward the tunnel, and a FIFA delegate is shaking your hand. He says, "Brilliant tonight. Magnificent control." You say, "Thank you." You don't call your dad. Not that night, not the next morning. He watched from the Walthamstow flat. You gave him a key 2 years ago. On the television you bought him after Christmas. He would have seen you walk out of the tunnel, and he would have told whoever was with him, "That's my boy. He does this." You know he does this, because your sister has told you. "That's my boy. The best referee in the world." You send him a text at 2 a.m. Just spoke to the team, busy night, call tomorrow. He replies with a thumbs up emoji. He has only recently learned to use emojis, and he uses them for everything now. The thumbs up sits on your screen, and you look at it for a while. Your flight back to London is in 3 days. You will land at Heathrow, take the Piccadilly line, change at Finsbury Park, come out at Dalston Kingsland. You will walk past the chicken shop and the cash point and the bus stop where you used to wait for the 30. You will let yourself into your flat in Walthamstow, and your UEFA badge will be on the shelf where it always is, and your Derek's number will still be in your phone, because you have never been able to delete it. You will sit at the kitchen table and open your laptop and review footage of tonight's match. Your positioning will be rated exceptional. Your decision accuracy across the full match will be 97.7%. Somewhere in Geneva, a room will look at that number and see the finest referee of his generation. The $800,000 that arrives in Cyprus 3 days later will sit there for a while before you move it. You are not even sure what you are moving it toward. A house, maybe. A house somewhere your dad doesn't have to worry about the boiler. The players who dive make the headlines. The managers who argue make the back pages. The referee who decides which ambiguous moment in the 71st minute of a World Cup final becomes history. He gets on a plane, he takes the Piccadilly line, he walks through Dalston at 6 a.m. and nobody looks twice, and the whole machine keeps running, load-bearing and invisible, because somewhere. Along the way, a boy from Hackney with Derek's pace and a bathroom mirror and 1.8 seconds of perfect stillness learned that the most powerful man on the pitch is the one nobody's watching. You already know which match is next. Marco texted before the confetti settled. If you watched this till the end, you already think differently than 99% of football fans. Subscribe, because the next one goes even deeper.